Hello everyone and welcome to the 5-Minute German A2 course. In today's video, we will learn all the A2 accusative prepositions. These are important to know because in A2 you will come across them frequently, as in A2 there are longer sentences which you have to know and learn. You will also have to write a little bit more complex sentences in the exam, and over there you can use these prepositions to get better marks. We already did all the A2 dative prepositions in the previous video. If you have not yet checked it out, you can check it out right now. So now let's not waste any time and let's learn all the A2 accusative prepositions. So we will start by first of all doing a quick recap of what are prepositions so that those of you who don't know can get an idea of this. After that, we will take a look at all the A2 accusative prepositions one by one, and we will also take a look at different examples which will help you understand how these prepositions are used in sentences. And I am sure that after this lesson, you will have no issues using or identifying accusative prepositions in A2. So let's start by a quick recap of what are prepositions. So preposition is a word or group of words showing the relationship between different things. So for example, if we have this table and a book is placed on top of it, then I can say the book is on the table to describe this image. And in this sentence, on is the preposition because it shows the relationship between the book and the table. Similarly, if we have a bag in the image as well, then we can describe the relationship of the bag to the table by saying the bag is under the table, where under is the preposition. Now both on and under are examples of location prepositions. There are other types of prepositions as well, such as time preposition, direction preposition, etc. And all these different types of prepositions are the types based on function. So when we categorize the prepositions as location, time, or direction, then we know what is the function of the preposition. And we have already done this in A1. Now there is another way we can categorize the prepositions, and that is the types based on case. So in this categorization, the prepositions can be dative prepositions, accusative prepositions, or a preposition can be dative as well as accusative depending in which situation it is used. And this will be the focus in A2 because it is easier or simpler to categorize the prepositions on the basis of case, as it will help you understand which type of article to use with these prepositions. So I have already made a video on the dative prepositions. I will link it in the description below. In this video, we will take a look at all the A2 accusative prepositions. So there are a total of 7 accusative prepositions or Präpositionen in A2. These are durch, which means through, für, which means for, gegen, which means against, ohne, which means without, which means at or around, entlang, which means along, and bis, which means until. And all of these prepositions take the accusative case. This means that the articles that we use with these prepositions should be accusative. The adjective endings should also be in the accusative case. Personal pronouns as well as possessive pronouns should all be in the accusative case. Now before we start with these prepositions and take a look at the examples, let's just do a quick recap of the accusative articles. So here you see the nominative and dative articles. So the accusative bestimmter or definite article for masculine is den, for feminine it is die, for neutral it is das, and for plural it is die. In case of unbestimmter article or indefinite article, for masculine it is einen, for feminine it is eine, and for neutral it is ein. So accusative is much simpler because over here only the masculine forms are different from the nominative case. All the other ones are the same. For example, feminine in nominative is die, and in accusative it is also die. Same as for neutral and plural. So you just have to change it for the masculine nouns. So now let's take a look at the prepositions, and we will start with the first one, which is durch, which means through, and it is used to describe a situation where we go through something. So for example, you have this tunnel with an entrance and an exit, And suppose that you enter the tunnel from the entrance and exit it from the other side. So you can describe this by saying Ich fahre durch den Tunnel. I drive through the tunnel. So you see, we have used durch over here to describe the situation where we go through the tunnel. And we have used den Tunnel over here because tunnel is masculine. It is der Tunnel. And in accusative, you know that there becomes den. That's why we say den Tunnel. Another example can be, suppose that you enter this park from one side and then exit from the other side. Then you can say, Ich gehe durch den Park. I go through the park. And we have again used den over here because park is their park. Now there is another use of durch as well, and that is to show the means or method by which something happens. So for example, I can say, Die Nachricht kam durch einen Freund. The message came through a friend. So you see, I have used durch over here to tell the means through which I received the message. And you see that we have used einen over here because Freund is a male friend in German. If it was a female friend, then we can say, Die Nachricht kam durch eine Freundin. The message came through a female friend. So Freundin is a female friend. So this is how you can use durch. Now let's go to the second preposition, which is für, which means for. And we use für similar to as it is used in English. So an example can be, Ich kaufe ein Geschenk für meine Mutter. I buy a gift for my mother. And we have used meine Mutter, which is the possessive pronoun in accusative because the feminine case does not change. Another example can be, Ich kaufe ein Geschenk für dich. I buy a gift for you. And over here you see that we have used dich with für, which is a personal pronoun in accusative. So this is something that you should keep in mind, that für is used a lot with personal pronouns. And it is important that you use the personal pronouns in accusative because these are different. So another example can be, hat das für mich getan. He did that for me. So over here again I have used mich, which is again a personal pronoun in accusative. I did not use ich or mir over here because für is a accusative preposition and always the accusative personal pronoun will come after it. Another example can be, ist für eine Woche hier. He is here for a week. So this is also very simple. We use eine Woche because Woche is feminine, so die Woche. That's why no change. And a commonly used phrase which you will hear with für is, Ich bin für diesen Vorschlag. I support this proposal. So ich bin für means I support. So whenever somebody says Ich bin für, then you should know that they agree or support whatever you have said. And Vorschlag is their Vorschlag, which means proposal or suggestion. That's why we have used diesen with the ending en. So this was für. The next preposition is gegen, which means against, and it is used when you oppose something. So an opposite of the example that we saw right now would be Ich bin gegen diesen Vorschlag. I oppose this proposal. So Ich bin für means I support and Ich bin gegen means I oppose. Another example can be Sie sind gegen die neuen Regeln. They are against the new rules. So again you see we have used gegen over here to show our opposition to the new rules. And we have used the ending en over here because this is the adjective ending in accusative for plural. Another use for gegen, which you might already know, is to tell the approximate time. And in this case it takes the meaning of around. So an example would be, Wir treffen uns gegen 18 Uhr. We will meet around 6 p.m. So in this sentence, gegen 18 Uhr means it could be before 6 p.m. or a little bit after 6 p.m. So not exactly at 6 p.m. or 18 Uhr. And with time you don't use any article. So that's why simply gegen 18 Uhr. So this was gegen. The next preposition is ohne, which means without. And an example sentence would be, geht ohne mich nicht. He will not go without me. And you see that over here we have again used mich, which is the personal pronoun in accusative because ohne is a accusative preposition. Another example can be, Ich kann ohne dich nicht leben. I cannot live without you. Again, we have not used du or dir over here, which are nominative or dative personal pronouns. Rather, we have used dich, which is an accusative personal pronoun. Let's take some more examples with ohne. So, arbeitet ohne Pausen. He works without breaks. So over here we have used ohne Pausen without an article because Pause, which means a break, and Pausen, which is the plural, is a proper noun. Another example can be Mein Vater trinkt seinen Kaffee ohne Zucker. My father drinks his coffee without sugar. Again over here we have not used any article because these are proper nouns and we don't need an article with proper nouns. So this was ohne. The next preposition is which means at or around, and the most common use for is to tell the exact time. So we can say Wir treffen uns 18 Uhr. We meet at 6 p.m. So this is the exact time at which we should be there. Another example can be Die Schule fängt 7 Uhr an. School starts at 7 a.m. So this means that exactly at 7 a.m. school will start. This is a fixed time. Another use for is to tell when you have to go around something. So an example can be Nach dem Essen gehen wir das Gebäude. After the meal, we will go around the building. So we will do a walk around the building after the meal. Another example can be Die Kinder spielen den Tisch. The children are playing around the table. So this is also how you can use So let's move on. So the next preposition is entlang, which means along. And an important point over here is that entlang is accusative only when it is used after the noun. It can also be used before a noun, but in this case, it will be a genitive preposition. So the genitive is the fourth case in German language, and we will learn it later in the A2 course. So let's see an example with entlang. So if somebody asks you, Wo ist der Supermarkt? Where is the supermarket? Then you can say, Gehen Sie den Fluss entlang und dann nach links. Go along the river and then left. So you see over here we have used entlang after the noun, which is Fluss, but we have used den Fluss, which is the definite article for masculine in accusative. Another example can be Sie fährt die Straße entlang. She drives along the street. So if you are just going along a street, then you can use entlang. And because Straße is feminine and feminine articles don't change in accusative, that's why we have used die Straße. So this was entlang. Now let's take a look at the last preposition, which is bis. That means until, and it is used for specific times or days. So I can say, Ich warte bis 14 Uhr. I will wait until 2 p.m. And since it is a time, that's why we don't use any article over here. Another example can be Bis nächste Woche bin ich in Berlin. Till next week, I am in Berlin. So you see over here we have used bis nächste Woche to tell until which time we are in Berlin. Another example with a day can be Bis nächsten Dienstag bin ich in Berlin. Till next Tuesday, I am in Berlin. And something which you will frequently hear in your daily life in Germany will be bis nächste Woche, till next week. So when it is Friday and you have a weekend after it, then you can just say to your colleagues bis nächste Woche, that you will see them next week. Or you can also say bis morgen, till tomorrow, or see you tomorrow. So this is also commonly used. Now we have learned bis. However, what you will commonly see is bis zu in different sentences, and I want to just give you a little bit of information of what is the difference between the two so that you don't get confused. So bis means until and bis zu means up to or by. And the main difference is that bis is accusative, as we have just learned, whereas bis zu is dative because of su. And if you have seen the dative prepositions video, then you know that su is a dative preposition. That's why anything that comes after bis zu will have the dative article and not the accusative article. And bis zu is used for places which have articles or in formal writing. So we have already seen an example of bis, which is Ich warte bis 14 Uhr. I will wait until 2 p.m. An example with bis zu can be Ich fahre bis zum Bahnhof. I will drive up to the train station. So you see we have used some over here, which is a combination of su and them, because su is a dative preposition. Another example with a feminine noun can be Ich fahre bis zur Endhaltestelle. I will drive up to the last stop. So Haltestelle is feminine. That's why we have used zur over here, which is a combination of su and there. So if you remember from the articles, in dative, the feminine definite article is there. So don't get confused if you see bis su used with the dative article. So these were the accusative prepositions in A2. I would suggest that you take a look at some other examples as well on the internet and practice them so that you don't make any mistake in the exam. So I hope that this video was helpful for you. As always, if you have any feedback or any questions, please let me know in the comments below. I would be very happy to help. Thank you very much for your time and your continuous support, and we will see each other in the next video.